I the a-hole for telling my mom to go back to the family she replaced me with? My mom, 42, and I, 22 male, used to be really close. Like she's all I've ever had. And she's the one who taught me to be as strong as I am today. And her becoming a cop inspired my whole life. I love her so much. And I admire how strong she is. And I wish things were like how they were. Her uncle, my great-uncle, managed to bring her to Canada from Kosovo in 1999. If that helps give you guys an idea of the kind of things that she's been through. When I went to university, our relationship started changing. She disliked my girlfriends, my uni choice, wanted me to ferry home every weekend, and then I got a co-op term at a prestigious company in Vancouver. Don't ask, I'm not giving it up. That she did not want me to work for because she had a moral stance against it. I agree with her, but it was a great opportunity. I'm going to graduate at the end of the term, and I'm set for a job within the Vancouver Police Department because of it. But my mom cut me off because of it and straight up told me not to come back. So I had to move in with my great-uncle and a son, my uncle. We started messaging again half a year ago after she sent me a chain message on WhatsApp, but we've been taking it slow. I follow my mom on Instagram, but she rarely posts, and when she does, it's anti-war stuff. But then she put up this post with a caption something like, "So happy to have a real family again. Can't wait to go on my new journey." And it showed her boyfriend and her with engagement rings at an ultrasound. Like, I don't know. It just triggered something inside of me. Am I not her real family? Were we nothing? It just made me very angry. Like I'm going to have the sibling and stepfather I always wanted. And she couldn't even be bothered to tell me personally? Well, I decided to wait and see how long it would take her to call me about the news. And she just didn't. A reading break was 2 weeks ago, and at the end of it, my mom came to my great-uncle's house to pick something up. She saw me and tried acting like no time had passed, and how excited she was for my graduation and this and that. She still didn't acknowledge she's getting married. I just told her not to care about my graduation and to go back to the family she replaced me with. Left and stayed gone till she went home. My uncle told me that what I did made her cry and I was an a-hole to her. And my great-uncle told me that I should have handled things with more tact. I feel bad about it because she was reaching out to me. And everything's been frosty with my uncle since then. Now for the comments. Not an a-hole. She wrote the post that insinuated she didn't have a real family. So now the post bit her in the bum. And she kicked him out. Will she do the same to her real family if they disagree with her? To be honest, probably it's like cheaters and narcissists. They don't change. They just find you victims to fool. Not the a-hole OP. It really does seem like she no longer considers you as a family, and you just pointed that out. You have every right to feel bitter. Also consider showing your uncles the post she made. That may help them understand why you acted the way you did. Info, did you show your uncles the IG post? Ask them what were you supposed to think when she wrote, "So happy to have a real family again, can't wait to go on my new journey," and it showed her boyfriend and her with engagement rings at an ultrasound. And she shows up acting like she didn't cut you off or where you work, and nothing ever happened? No, not an a-hole. Edit. In my opinion, if she wants to reconcile, she needs to sit down with you one-on-one and explain why she did what she did. Because there's a good chance she may dump you again, especially if you do something else against her high moral standards, or if her boyfriend doesn't like you, or if she just doesn't have time anymore. Put some consistent effort into this relationship, mom, if you want one. My guess is she wanted him to grow up to be a mama's boy, forever tied to her. Instead, he became an independent adult. Not stay home. She's your mother. The least she could have done was to pick up the phone and tell you about the wedding and the baby. She cut you off for getting a job. Then she acts like nothing's happening and doesn't even bother telling you she's getting married after cutting you off and kicking you out for a job. She hurt you and now you have to suck it up? She can suck up a little. Great-uncle seems to understand better than your uncle, since he said you should have been more tactful, not that you shouldn't have said it at all. Not stay home. She needs to understand that the lack of relationship now is her fault, not yours. Next story. Am I the a-hole for losing it on my fiancé for disinviting my stepsisters from our wedding? I'm gonna keep it short. I, female 25, am getting married to my fiancé next month. We've had no issues with the wedding planning except the guest list. Context: I have a large family. I have two stepsisters, 18-20, and a biological brother, 27, and also a biological sister, 30. My fiancé argued that the guest list should be cut short and suggested I only invite my immediate family. I asked him to elaborate, and he suggested excluding my stepsisters. I said no and got upset with him for implying that they're not family. He said, well, this wasn't what I meant. I was just speaking from a technical angle, especially since I didn't include them in the wedding party like maid of honor and bridesmaids, so he thought they were unneeded. But I said they are wanted, and will always be wanted and included by me. Well, days ago, my stepsisters called saying my fiancé canceled their invitations and told them some lie about changing wedding location and telling them they won't be able to come. I was fuming. I went home and started screaming at him. He asked that I hear him out, then explained he had no choice since we were required to shorten the list. And he just did my dirty work for me since I obviously was looking at the situation from an emotional angle and couldn't bring myself to disinvite my stepsisters myself. I called him a hypocrite because he invited almost 6 of his friends, who, as far as I know, aren't immediate family. I told him he hurt my stepsisters by going behind my back and excluding them from my wedding, which they've been so excited about. He got up from the couch and yelled that it's our wedding, so my stepsister's feelings aren't really that relevant compared to his, and called me controlling for wanting my way or the highway. He took his phone and stormed out to see his friends. Some of his friends called to scold me for how I'm treating their brother, and then went on about how rude it was to suggest that their brother disinvite them from the wedding just because I don't like them, and called it a you problem. My future mother-in-law called and is wanting to speak to me. He probably told her what's going on, and she is probably going to ask that I apologize for yelling. Please don't marry him, OP. Not to jump on a bandwagon here, but please don't marry him, OP. I am jumping on a bandwagon. Please don't marry him, OP. Not today, home. It sounds like he's the issue here for implying that those you consider to be your immediate family are unneeded. He also then canceled their invitations without asking you how you felt about that, even though you made your stance perfectly clear? Has he cut off any of his immediate relatives, or has he simply decided yours are more expendable? He then called you controlling when he went behind your back to uninvite your immediate family? He sounds like a nightmare. Then his friends started scolding you. That's a lot of red flags. Do any of them have any respect for you? And now he's trying to get his mom to ring you to put additional pressure on. There are so many issues here. Do not apologize to any of them. He removed your immediate family without considering your feelings, and is wholly in the wrong for that. But the only way you could be an a-hole is if you marry this guy. Give yourself a better future. Run. Some people worry about starting over, but marrying the wrong person will actually delay your life more. Think, OP. The divorce process takes a long time. I hate when Redditors jump to encourage one moving on from their spouse, but I have to agree in this case. Not stay whole, OP, and don't let anyone tell you otherwise. Not stay whole. Wow. Just wow. Girl, run. Do not marry this man. He doesn't even grasp the basics of family. Is this the kind of father you want for your kids? And his friends calling to berate you? The friends he surrounded himself with also don't seem to understand family. How dare he include them? How dare he ask them to call you? How dare they think they have any authority to tell you who gets to witness your commitment to another human being? This is your family, but he's not getting that. Uninviting your stepsisters behind your back is not only immature, he seems to have no ability to confront conflict. Inappropriate. He kept you out of a decision. Passive-aggressive red flags everywhere. And frankly, sinister. This is an important milestone in a person's life. An event so steeped in emotion that the memory will be seared into your brain. And the fact he can't understand you'd want to share it with your full family and have that memory of them witnessing and supporting your happiness is deeply concerning behavior. Don't expect your marriage to be any different. He just showed you who he really is, and he doesn't even see part of your family as family. I'm so sorry. It will be messy to cancel, but don't let that stop you. Next story is titled, Am I the a-hole for going on an expensive vacation and not helping fund my sister's IVF? My 30 male sister, 34 female, has been struggling to conceive with her husband for a few years now. They recently went to a gyno and were told they likely would be unable to without IVF. Obviously, she's upset about it. I don't know their exact financial situation, but she and her husband are both teachers at private schools. But they said their insurance doesn't cover it at all and that they were told it would likely be about $25,000, all in with medication and everything. There was no guarantee of success and it could be $25,000 and no positive result. They asked me and my parents if we could help pitch in, and my parents objected due to it being against their religious beliefs. I'm not religious at all and don't have any ethical objections, but that's just a lot of money with no guarantee. So it seems like a bad idea and I'm just not comfortable with giving that amount to a family member. My wife and I work hard and we don't want to potentially throw money away if it didn't succeed, so we told them no. She was upset, but left it at that at a time when we told her. Well, my wife and I have always wanted to go to Europe, and now that travel is back on, we decided to take a trip together. I don't use social media, but my wife does, and she got excited and posted on her story confirmation of our flights being booked. Well, my sister saw that, and then texted me saying how I was an a-hole for spending all this money on a vacation, but not helping my own sister have a family. At first, I brushed it off as her just being upset at her situation, but then today I got another mean text from her. Am I the a-hole here? Not the a-hole. It's not your job to fund her dreams. It's really bizarre to me that that's not just the sister's first reaction, but that she doubled down on it. Yikes. Like, I already feel uncomfortable involving anyone other than my husband with the process of baby making, even just in the context of conversing about it. Hi, oversharing in-laws. I can't imagine feeling so entitled I'd freaking begrudge a family member their well-earned vacation, because I thought I deserved the money that they earned more. So many WTFs here. Not stay home. If they think IVF is expensive, do they have any idea how much parenting costs? You can, however, ask them to consider medical tourism. Plenty of countries where they can get quality treatment for a fraction of a cost, plus holiday. I agree that OP is not the a-hole, but I disagree with your argument. IVF is a huge one-time upfront cost. Raising children is expensive, but those expenses are spread out over time. I don't think it's fair to say if a couple can't afford IVF, they can't afford children, or shouldn't have children. Not stay home. Having been through IVF myself, I feel for your sister. She thinks you can help her and are choosing not to, and that must hurt her. That said, your money is your money. She asked for help and you declined. What you do with your money isn't her business. So confronting you more than once already about your trip makes her the a-hole. Not the a-hole. It is not your responsibility to pay for this. As someone who is currently going through IVF though, I do encourage you to read up on it and provide all of the emotional support you possibly can. It is a hellish experience, and she is going to need all the kindness you can possibly give. Also, if their insurance isn't going to cover it, it's likely going to cost way more than $25,000. Probably more like $40,000+. Now for the last story. Am I the a-hole for not helping my partner with our newborn? I know the title sounds bad, but I'm finding myself in a very difficult situation and I'm genuinely not sure if I'm in the wrong here. I'm 27 male, I'm a surgical resident. My partner, 27 female, was a teacher but is currently a stay-at-home mother to our newborn child. We met in college and have been together for just over 7 years now. Last year, she took a pregnancy test after missing her period and found out she was pregnant. We were both happy, but also concerned about taking care of a child. My main concern when we found out was that I could not help out with a child because I work 80 to 100 hours a week. However, we both love each other and did want a family. So in the end, we decided to keep the child, and that she would take time off of work while I was completing my residency and take care of the kid. I would complete my residency, and then after having somewhat more humane hours, would obviously split child caring duties equally with her so that she can also return to work. It's been 3 months since our kid was born now, and things have been rough to say the least. I'm still working nearly 100 hours a week and I'm constantly at the brink of exhaustion. If anything, my workload has increased since then, as I'm now learning how to perform larger operations. My sleep is almost non-existent, and I'm constantly under intense pressure due to my work environment. Things have obviously been rough for her too. The pregnancy and delivery were without complication, but it goes without saying that it was still hugely taxing on her mentally and physically. Recently, my partner has been asking me to take care of our kid when I get home. Initially, I helped her without hesitation, feeling like it was within my capacity and wanting to support her. But in the past few weeks, she's been asking more and more of me. And a few days ago, she demanded I take care of our kid immediately as I walked into the door. I hadn't even had time to take off my shoes yet. And when I said just give me a second, she told me to hurry the heck up. I later learned that she had an incredibly rough day and was just at capacity. But in the moment, I was so caught off guard I yelled at her to back off. I was too exhausted to deal with it then, so I locked myself in the bathroom to take a long shower and calm down. We later talked about what had happened and apologized to each other, but during it, she essentially told me that she felt like I wasn't doing enough to take care of the kid, and that it was our responsibility equally. I told her that I felt like I was already doing more than we agreed on, and that I can literally not do any more than what I'm currently doing. After talking and arguing about this for about 2 hours, we still couldn't come to an agreement and decided to leave the topic for now. So, am I the a-hole for not wanting to take on a larger parenting role during residency? Friends I've talked to seem split on the matter. No a-holes here. This is a case of two people drowning and arguing over who has their head up out of the water a few inches more than the other. You have a newborn, are working 100 hours a week, and a wife who is most likely so overwhelmed she can't see straight. Both of you are sleep deprived and not in your right mind. What you need is help. I don't care who said they would do what's before the baby came. It's here now and it's not what either of you expected. It's time to start from scratch and use your limited energy to find solutions to give you both reprieve. This right here. No one in this situation is the a-hole. They're just both exhausted, doing very taxing and demanding jobs/tasks and need help. I know Opie said they can't afford help right now, but they both need to figure out something before this tears them apart. No a-holes here. You're both exhausted and pushed to your limits. Snaps like this are going to happen. As long as you apologize afterwards and try to see things from the other point of view and remember you love each other, you'll be fine. Things will get better, but you have to tough it out. Can you hire help? Get family or friends to help out a little. When I was a baby, my mom's best friend took care of me a day or two a week, and she's still considered my aunt to this day. Don't know what your support system is, but you seem to need to leverage it a little more.